brings together entrepreneurs, educators, women leaders, business owners, start-up founders, policy makers, and change makers from more than 30 countries. Some of the honoured guests with us today include: we have a member of the King's Council in the House of Lords, the Lord of Brennan. We have former British Member of Parliament in the House of Commons, Mr. Narendra Sharma. We have a Cabinet Minister for Safe Oxford, Oxford City Council, City Council for Bloomberg Leeds.
This is better.
Basis, it tells, I don't know if it's still streaming. I don't know how to change it unless, no, I don't know how to change it.
Councillor Chua Munkonga. And we have the Mayor of the Borough of Hartsmith, Councillor Harvey Raleigh, and we also have a Councillor Richard Kemp, CBA, former Lord Mayor of Liverpool and distinguished leader from Liverpool City Council, United Kingdom. So, ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, I would like to call upon our keynote speaker address by convener and president of the World's Leaders Summit UK chapter. Ladies and gentlemen, I welcome you to the lecture.
I need the link.
Founder Director
It's not
of
like
Global
from
Economics Limited, ADV, Udaveer Singh Bindra.
ये तो पहले भी बुला रहा है ये कैसे होएगा ये पागल क्या कर रही है
When it's like this, it's fine. But then when you change it, okay.
ये हाफ में आ रहा
So, ladies and gentlemen,
और
we are going
keep it
to
somewhere
start.
like this so that
Before our keynote speaker convenes, we're going to start with our national anthems.
but I
So,
need the
ladies and
link
gentlemen, I'm kindly ask you to please stand
I need to share it to the people who are watching from
as we start with the United Kingdom national anthem.
Do your iPhone? You know.
my iPhone is not working
Ladies and gentlemen, your continued attention please for our opening keynote session. Distinguished mayors, honoured guests, ladies and gentlemen, please pray silence for the Lord Brennan of the King's Council, member of the House of Lords, former chairman of the Bar Council of England and Wales. Thank you.
It's a pleasure to meet you today from Oxford University. Two of my sons were at Oxford. The third was at Oxford Business Degree. And with those two children were married, Spaniards who live and work in Madrid. My wife is Spanish. All of us speak Spanish as well as I speak English. My neighbours, I speak English as well as I can listen to Spanish. The purpose of this kind of meeting requires emphasis. We're here to give ethical leadership, public service, and global cooperation and development throughout the world insofar as we can. 30 countries, 240 individuals and organizations is a tremendous achievement.
She wants the link.
What should
The message is something to her.
I'll send it from my phone.
Okay.
in ethical matters leadership, in the public services,
I was working. I think so.
and global cooperation in international development.
Okay.
To use some of the phrases of your organizers, to lead with purpose, to inspire with action, and to leave a legacy for those who follow. It's a wonderful ambition to have for the world, especially for the world. I'm 84 years old. Don't wish to slow down, but I've been around a long time, chairman of the bar, member of the House of Lords for over 20 years. I've worked internationally. So I want to deal with this point about unity, how we can further it, what we need to recognize, and to do this properly. Firstly, global issues. I'm going to start with Asia. India. Peace, not conflict, with any other country at the moment. Jobs and education, top priority. And India can do Bangalore. This, without that, I visited many times, was just astonishing. The degree of expertise which the people who learn things in Bangalore achieve. Trade and commerce throughout Southern Asia in particular. Leadership from India by individuals. I've lots of friends in India. I chaired a company for 10 years in the early 2000s. I was a great friend of a man called Fali Nariman, who's still not Indian, went to the Supreme Court. Fali was a great lawyer, unfortunately, now passed away. On the other one I knew very well was the Indian Attorney General, 20 odd years ago, called Sony Siraj. Very important people to learn about India and talking with them. What about China? I've travelled in China a lot over many years, and I want to start with something that not many people ever talk about or even know about. When Mao Zedong died in the early 80s, his successor by appointment, but also by popularity, was a man called Deng Xiaoping, who spoke excellent English, was very international. And Deng Xiaoping, in order to advance China, produced a plan, quite unusual for his spare time, but it was a success. He sent out messages in their meetings with young graduates, men and women from India, who could speak good English, telling them to go abroad, get another qualification, learn how modern things are done, and then come back and work in India. Two of my good friends in China did that. A man went to Texas and became qualified in computer technology before my time. He eventually married a woman who went from Shanghai to San Francisco and qualified as an American lawyer. And they both went back to China, where they still are, and I'm still friends with them. And they do international business everywhere. So, sometimes things are perhaps exaggerated about China. Sometimes deservedly so. But they certainly get straight on the chin with the Western press. Yesterday's Financial Times. Chinese GDP growth slows to one of its lowest rates in decades. Go to the floor. The GDP growth being where people work, factories, offices, and so on. So they get front page coverage. But to us now, Salvation Organization, they still survive. And those Indians here may remember that Prime Minister Modi became a member of government, having been governor of Gujarat, one of the most successful states in India, and he became Prime Minister. And I'm mentioning this because he's gone out of his way to speak to India, China, South Asia in an innovative way. What about South Asia? Shanghai, I'm in New York, you better know, making a ton of money. Indonesia, 300 million people, the biggest nickel producer of motor cars and computers, the biggest nickel producer in the world. In amusing contrast, Vietnam has won the World Award for making guess what in Vietnam cheap coffee. Starbucks, all these people buy hundreds of tons of this stuff in Vietnam. But what I'm explaining here is South Asia has survived and can expand. And a lot of your work is in that part of the world. What about other parts of the world? Africa, I've been to many times, but I know Latin America because of my Spanish connections much better. China is very concentrated in doing business in Latin America because it can get rare earths, it can get copper from Chile to the south, straight across the Pacific. In Latin America now, there's something called the Alliance for the Pacific, which could include the Alliance for the Pacific and the Indian Ocean. And China gets its copper by shipping from Latin America. When it stopped buying copper to the same extent, the result was that two countries who invested in Chile started investing in copper, Canada and Australia, allowing 4 Latin American countries to make the Alliance for the Pacific. So, when you're looking at this world as seen here, let's start thinking about it in a bigger space than in the past. I've got strict instructions to show up. That's something a good lawyer is to obey. There are 2 things to mention to you. The U.S. I wrote the foreword for this book. Came out in 1995. Adam Smith on macroeconomics. It's 250 years since Adam Smith wrote his book about capital and the theory of moral sentiments. This is his year 250. And this book has got 15 contributors from all parts of the world saying that what he wrote then is still the right thing now. I'm probably the hardest working Catholic in the room. I go to the Vatican a lot to committee meetings, and I want to bring to your attention, it's called an encyclical, where the Pope writes a paper explaining his view of the Church's views about a big issue. This, the magnificent humanity, is written by Pope Leo. 100 pages, how they found time for this amazes me. And he's written because of artificial intelligence. He wants intellectual science to work for people, not to let it become the user of people. This is what you read if you're a businessman. It talks common sense. Did I read them on the train or the tube? I actually read them when they were published. And I reread them. You've been very patient and very kind. This is a wonderful organization. Let it continue triumphantly to influence everybody here, Asia, and in the world. God bless you.
Huh? I don't know where he's standing.
Ladies and gentlemen, your continued attention, please. Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, Lord Graham has been honoured. Thank you very much indeed. To our second keynote speaker, convener, my Lord, Mr. Mayor. Distinguished mayors, ladies and gentlemen, please praise in silence for the former British Member of Parliament to the House of Commons, Mr. Virendra Sharma.
My Lord, Mr. Lord Mayor, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. It's a great pleasure and privilege to join you today at the historic university of Oxford for the 17th World Leaders Summit, UK Chapter 2026. I begin by congratulating the organizers for bringing together such an impressive gathering. Of leaders from business, education, let me read that. This technology is, for me, not the practice. I begin by congratulating the organizers for bringing together such an impressive gathering of leaders from business, education, public service, diplomacy, and civil society. Events like this remind us that leadership is not defined by title or position, but by service, integrity, vision, and the ability to inspire others. I must say that I will be leaving as soon as I finish. Those who follow the British politics, then the big change is happening today. So I will be rushing out, so it does not mean for the other speakers that I'm not interested, but I'm sure the Labour politicians will know that development is taking place today in UK. This year's focus on the Women Leaders Forum makes the summit especially meaningful. Around the world, women continue to transform communities, build businesses, educate future generations, lead humanitarian efforts, and shape public policy. Their contribution is not only valuable, it is indispensable. Today is an opportunity not only to celebrate women's achievements, on the side, that's better. Not only to celebrate women's achievements, but also to renew our commitment to societies where talent, ability, and determination are the true members of our group. Throughout my public life, I have been fortunate to work along councillors, civil servants, community leaders, teachers, NHS professionals, volunteers, and entrepreneurs. Many worked quietly, without seeking recognition, yet changed countless lives through compassion, determination, and courage. They taught me an important lesson. Leadership is not about being the loudest voice in the room. It is about making the greatest difference in the lives of others. Ladies and gentlemen, having spent more than 5 decades serving communities as a trade union official, a councillor, mayor of Ealing, and later for 5 terms as a member of parliament for Ealing South, I have learned one enduring truth. Public life must always be rooted in values. Friends, success without integrity is temporary. Power without compassion loses public trust. Leadership without accountability ultimately fails. Our societies today face climate change, rising inequality, and growing divisions within communities. Artificial intelligence is transforming our workplaces. Young people are anxious about employment. Families are concerned about the cost of living. Many communities feel disconnected from political institutions. In such times, the world does not simply need more leaders, it needs better leaders. Leaders who listen before they speak. Leaders who unite rather than divide. Leaders who seek solutions instead of headlines. Leaders who understand that public confidence is earned every single day. I firmly believe that ethical leadership will be one of the defining requirements of the 21st century. Friends, integrity can never be replaced by technology. Character can never be automated. Compassion will never become absolute. Those qualities remain uniquely human. That is why events as the World Leaders Summit matter so much. They create opportunities for dialogue across cultures, professions, and generations. The greatest breakthroughs in history have often come when people from different backgrounds choose cooperation over confrontation. Ladies and gentlemen, I have always been proud to describe myself as both British and deeply connected to my Indian heritage. The United Kingdom's greatest strength has always been its diversity. Communities from every continent have contributed to our economic prosperity, scientific innovation, arts, healthcare, education, and public life. Our diversity is not a weakness to be managed. It is strength to be celebrated. When people of different faiths, cultures, and experiences work together with mutual respect, society becomes stronger. That message is especially important for younger generation. Young people are not simply looking for successful role models. They are looking for authentic role models. They want leaders who are honest about challenges, who admit mistakes, who continue learning, and who remain humble despite success. To our young delegation here today, I would say this: believe in education, believe in hard work, believe in public service. Never underestimate the power of kindness. I'm telling that to the young people, me. There's a long time to set, but I know that gathering is not with us today because we're running late. So I take this opportunity to congratulate everyone who will be awarded this later on, and those who are the leaders of our society, who wanted to bring honesty and kindness and bring peace and prosperity for all, not for few. God bless you. Thank you.
And thank you very much, Mr. Narendra Sharma. He will now be honoured by Advocate Uday Singh, the Founding Director of Global Empire Events Limited. Let's have some applause, ladies and gentlemen. Ladies and gentlemen, your continued attention, please. Thank you. My Lord, distinguished other guests, ladies and gentlemen, please pray silence for the Lord Mayor of Oxford, Councillor Chue Munkonga.
Actually, to show my previous role, I was a cabinet member of Oxford, but now I'm delighted to inform that I'm the current mayor. Your Excellencies, distinguished guests, delegates, ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. My name is Councillor Chong, and I am honored to be serving as the current Lord Mayor of Oxford for 2026-2027. It is both a privilege and pleasure to join you today at the 17th World Leaders Summit. I would like to thank the organizers for your kind invitation and for bringing together leaders, innovators, entrepreneurs, educators, and change makers from across the world. Oxford is often recognized for its remarkable history, its universities, and its global influence in education and research. But for me, Oxford's great strength has never been in its building. Its greatest strength is in its people. People from every continent, every culture, and every faith, living, learning, and working together with a shared belief that our diversity makes us stronger. As someone who was born in Zambia, before making Oxford my home, I have experienced firsthand the opportunities that can be created when communities welcome people, value their contribution, and actually invest in their potential. Earlier this year, actually 2 months ago, I had the extraordinary privilege of becoming the first Black mayor in Oxford's history. People often describe that as making history. I prefer probably to think of it as creating possibility. Because leadership is never about being first. It's about ensuring we are not last. It's about opening doors for others. It's about creating opportunities for the next generation to dream even bigger than we did. That is the essence of inclusive leadership. Our world today faces many challenges, conflicts, conflict, inequality, climate change, and increasing division. Yes, yet I remain optimistic because whenever I travel, I meet people who chose cooperation over confrontation, compassion over indifference, and service over self-interest. That is where real leadership actually begins. As civic leaders, our responsibility is not simply to manage our communities, it is to bring people together. Strong communities are not built by governments alone. They are built when local authorities, businesses, charities, schools, universities, volunteers, residents work together with a common purpose. That is how we create sustainable cities. Not only through investment in infrastructure, but through investment in people. Because when people feel they belong, they actually contribute. When they are included, they innovate. When they are trusted, they lead. One of the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals reminds us to build peace, just and inclusive societies. Another calls on us to strengthen partnership. I believe these two ambitions are inseparable. No nation, no city, and no organization can solve today's challenges alone. Progress comes through partnership. It comes through listening. It comes through learning from one another. And it comes through recognition that our shared humanity is always greater than our differences. Through my time in public service, I've learned one single lesson that has shaped my approach to leadership. A place only becomes home when people make you feel that you belong. Whether that place is a city, a workplace, a school, or even a nation, belonging changes lives. It gives people confidence. It unlocks potential. It inspires hope. As leaders, our greatest responsibility is to create communities where every person, regardless of their background, race, gender, faith, or circumstance, believe that they matter and they have a future. If we achieve that, we will have created something far greater than economic growth. We will have created trust. We will have created opportunities. And we will have created communities where everyone has the chance to flourish. As I conclude, I would like to thank everyone gathered here today for the work you are doing in your own countries and communities. Leadership is not measured by the kind we report, it's measured by the lives we improve. Let us continue to build bridges between nations. Let us continue to learn from one another. Let us continue to lead with courage, compassion, and humility. Together, we can build communities that are more inclusive, cities that are more sustainable, and a world that offers greater hope to future generations. Thank you so much.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for your kind attention. I'd like to once again call the call. Acting for good life, sing into the factory director of Global Empire Effects Limited, who is honouring Councillor Chui Mokongonge, the Lord Mayor of Oxford. Ladies and gentlemen, your continued attention, please. Thank you. Founder, my Lord, Mr. Mayor, honoured guests, ladies and gentlemen, please praise in silence for Councillor Lubna Arshad, who is Cabinet Member for Safer Oxford City Council, City Council for Bloomberg Lees Ward, thank you.
Right, good afternoon. In the name of God, the most gracious and ever merciful, good afternoon, everyone. Lord, respected Lord Mayor of Oxford City, and Member of Parliament, Your Excellencies, distinguished guests, fellow leaders, ladies and gentlemen, it is such a huge honour and a privilege to be here with you today. My sincere thanks goes to Global Empire Events, Udeep and Kama for bringing together leaders from around the world to share a common purpose, to build a more peaceful, fair and sustainable future. Standing here today in Oxford is deeply personal. I was born and raised just a few miles from this very room. As a young girl growing up in an ordinary, working-class family, I never imagined that one day I'll be standing here, speaking to the world, leaders at one of the world's most prestigious universities. Life has a remarkable way of taking you on a journey you never expected. My journey has never been about chasing titles or recognition. It has been about saying yes to opportunities that scared me, stepping forward when it would have been easier to stay in the background, and believing that you begin should never determine where you can go. My parents taught me the values that have shaped my life, hard work, staying humble, treating everyone with respect, and never forget where you came from. Those lessons have stayed with me every step of the way. For more than 20 years, I worked in information technology, solving problems and working with people from all walks of life. Looking back, I realized those experiences have shaped me for public service. Because leadership, at its heart, is about solving problems for people. It's about listening before speaking, and it's about serving before leading. And it is about leaving every community stronger than you found it. There were moments when I questioned whether I truly belonged. As a British Muslim woman who wears the hijab, there were times when I walked into rooms where very few people looked like me. Sometimes I felt I had to work harder simply to be heard. But I never allowed those moments to define me. Instead, they reminded me why representation does matter. Because when one person breaks the barrier, they make it easier for someone else to walk through that door. When I was elected as a city councillor, and later I had the incredible honour of becoming the youngest and first woman of colour to serve the Lord Mayor of Oxford, people often spoke about making history, but I realised something really important. Leadership is not about making history, it is about making a difference. Titles eventually come to an end. What remains is the impact we have on people's lives. Today I serve as the Cabinet Member for a safer Oxford, and every single day I am reminded that public service is exactly that, service. Our responsibility is not to serve ourselves. Our responsibility is to serve the people who place their trust in us. Leadership is not measured by how many people you know by name. It is measured by how many lives are better because you've chosen to serve. The United Nations Sustainability Development Goals remind us that none of us can create lasting change alone. Peace begins with listening. Strong institutions begin with trust, and innovation begins with opportunity. Quality education begins with believing that every child deserves to fulfill their potential. Gender equality begins with we stop asking whether women belong at the table and instead greatest legacy we can leave is not building with our name on it or title after name. It is knowing that because we served, a child had a better education, a family felt safer, a young woman believed she could become a leader, a community found on hope. That is the legacy that matters. As an Ahmadi Muslim, my faith teaches me simple but powerful principle: love for all and hatred for none. Those words are more than a motto. They remind me every day that human beings are equal worth and equal dignity, no matter our race, religion, nationality or background. We all share a responsibility to build societies where people are treated fairly, where opportunity is available to all, and where peace is not just hopeful but actively created through our actions. As leaders, we have the choice. We build the walls, or we can build bridges, or you can even open the door. But ladies and gentlemen, I want to thank you all so much for your time today, and welcome to Oxford. And I finish, and I'd like to leave you with one thought. One day, when none of us will be remembered for the offices we have, the titles before our names, we will be remembered for where the people were better off because we chose to serve. So continue leading with courage. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Councillor Luna Arsha, the Cabinet Minister for Oxford Council, who will also be honoured by our founder and director of Global Empire Events Limited, Advocate Udavir Singh. Ladies and gentlemen, your continued attention, please. Thank you. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, please pray silence for the Mayor of the Borough of Hertfordshire, UK, Councillor Parveen Raleigh.
Distinguished guests, MPs, lords, councillors, and esteemed leaders, ladies and gentlemen. It's an honor and privilege to be here today at this historic university, Oxford University. And firstly, I would like to thank Advocate Udavir Singh for organizing this wonderful event and amazing, remarkable gathering, World Leadership Summit, and all the people who dedicated their time, energy, and dedication to bring this event possible. I had the honor of serving as a mayor of Hertfordshire, and Hertfordshire is renowned and famous for film and television, and world-renowned LSD Studio, BBC Studio, and Sky Studio is famous, and the world famous like Star Wars, Paddington, and the famous movies all shoot by in that area. So, and I'm the first Asian or Indian mayor in Hertfordshire. And another history created me and my son within 1 week difference. We became both mayor, which created history. Thank you. I'm also proud to serve the community and show the leadership. Leadership is not just to, what we say like, leadership is not just to showing your attitude or status. Because what we hear is not a status, it's a responsibility. Bringing people together and serve with humanity is I believe that is the leadership. That's the main People often ask me whether I always dreamed of becoming mayor. The honest answer is no. I simply wanted to serve my community. I have always believed that if you focus on serving the community with sincerity, life will take care of the rest. Growing up, my parents instilled in me principles that have shaped every stage of my life and my journey. My mother often spoke about Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam. The whole world is one family. It is a beautiful reminder that despite our different nationalities, religions, and culture, our shared humanity is far greater than our differences. My father taught me the discipline, honesty, and the importance of keeping your word and your commitment. Those lessons remain with me every day as I represent residents, make decisions, and work with communities. Throughout my career in public service, I have learned that leadership is not about authority. It is about responsibility. It is about listening before speaking. It is about bringing people together rather than driving them apart. And perhaps most importantly, it is about leaving your community better than you found it. One of the greatest privileges of becoming mayor is meeting extraordinary people every single week. The greatest joys of this role is meeting people every single day from all walks of life and witnessing their hard work and witnessing their incredible work every single day across our communities. Volunteers who quietly dedicate countless hours of helping others, teachers who shape the next generations, emergency services workers who protect our communities, young people with remarkable ideas, tirelessly, and those people remind me that some of the greatest leaders never stand on a stage. They simply choose to serve. My own work has centered around education, community cohesion, and creating opportunities. I founded Hindi Shiksha Parishad UK just to preserve language and cultural heritage for younger generation while bringing communities together through education and cultural understanding. As mayor, I have introduced new civic celebrations that bring together people of every background, no matter what color, faith, religion they come from. In today's world where we often hear about division, conflict, and uncertainty, leadership has never been more important, but I also believe that leadership has never been more helpful. Around this room are people from more than 30 countries. We speak different languages, we represent different cultures, we may hold different political views of work in different sectors. Yet today we are united by one common purpose, to make a positive difference. That, to me, a leadership, one lesson I have learned is that kindness should never be undermined. And something we think leadership requires grand speeches or historic decisions often is something much simpler. Listening to someone, make them feel valued, heard. What I have learned, one greatest thing, and what something common everywhere and in all communities, that everyone wants to be loved, feel valued, feel heard. Maybe people will forget your color, caste, and your position, and how you look like, and how you dress up, but they will never forget how you make them feel. So I won't take much of time because I think there is lot more speakers. I would like to listen everyone instead of speaking too much. But I would say only one message, that put people forward first and keep the open doors for everyone. That's the real leadership. Help other people to bring forward, help them. Instead of pulling their leg, pull their hand. Thank you very much, and I hope you will enjoy this experience.
Thank you very, very much indeed, Councillor Harvey Rani, the Mayor of the Borough of Hartsmere, UK. Thank you. So, ladies and gentlemen, Councillor Harvey Rani, the Mayor of the Borough of Hartsmere, will be honoured by Advocate Cameron Prior. Let's have some applause, please. Ladies and gentlemen, your continued attention, please, for our next keynote speaker session. My Lord, honoured guests, ladies and gentlemen, please pray silence for the former Lord Mayor of Liverpool and distinguished leader from Liverpool City Council, ladies and gentlemen of the Command of the Order of the British Empire, Councillor Richard Kemp.
Right, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I'm a little stylied here because I did send a presentation through, so I'm going to have to bluff through this speech, but that's all right because I'm from Liverpool. We're very good at bluffing, and we're also good comedians, so I might try a few jokes in as well. I'm particularly pleased to be here today because this is a world meeting, people, as we heard, from 30 different countries. The strapline for my city is the world in one city. We have substantial numbers of people in the Liverpool City region from 120 different countries. We don't see immigration as a problem or as a threat to the British way of life. We know that our city has been created by successive waves of people who decided from other parts of the world to make our city better. We've had people from Africa and then the Caribbean for 250 years. We were the first major European centre for the Chinese community when they fled from rebellion. We have people now that goes right the way through from the Irish community who fled the famines to now we have substantial populations from Syria, and I'm very pleased to be the patron of the Ukraine Society in the Liverpool City region. I just want to tell you briefly a little bit about my background. I'm doing this not to say how good I've been over the years, because the theme from what I want to say is that we have to do things at the right level. My title of the theme is From Penny Lane where I had the honour to be the council, the most famous lane in the world, through to the UN, where I had the privilege to be able to work with local government and mayors from all over the country, all over the world, in creating the SDGs. I'm a councillor, looking after 5,500 people, and I've done that now for 44 years. That is part of a district of Liverpool called the Mother District. That is part of South Liverpool, with 120,000 people. And Liverpool itself has 520,000 residents, and our Liverpool city region has 1.7 million. And I have been representative of the people at all those levels. And what we do at those levels is to bring together the right politicians, the right community leaders, the right organisational representatives. For example, we deal at Liverpool City Regional level with the Chief Constable. In my ward, I deal with the local constable and sergeant. But my experience has led me to believe that that isn't enough. Working together at the right level, those 7 levels I've already indicated, means good things if you do it properly. But on top of that, I've got nationally as the leader of the Liberal Democrats in local government, the vice chair of the Local Government Association, and I know there has to be an interaction between councillors and councils at all levels and our national government. I've been a member of the Congress of Europe, and a passionate believer in the European ideal. I wake up every day in Liverpool, which I believe is part of Europe. And I then have the privilege to represent the United Kingdom on the World Body for Local Government, where, as I said, I've been able to help negotiate the SDGs, Sustainable Development Goals, as they transition from the Millennium Development Goals. So all this tells me that the higher you go the ladder, and this is a physical truth as well, the further you get from the reality of the ground floor. And when 25 leaders of local government from all over the globe, the UN, we said, can we remind you of this? You can say what you like in New York, and we hope you say the right things and have the right strategies. We can go to our European community and say, work for us across the nation, and remember of the EU retired from the UK. You can go to Parliament and really pass good laws and good strategies. But whatever you do at those levels, the delivery takes place in the villages, the neighbourhoods, the communities, and the wards and the parishes. So you need to engage with people big and very important, with the people who should really be important in all our considerations, the people of our communities who live there, know the problems, co-produce the solutions inside the strategies that the big boys and girls and all those other places have created for us. But don't think that you're more important because you represent a bigger body. You're more important if you've only got 2 years, only 1 month, and act accordingly. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Please. Thank you. So, a very, very, very big thank you for the former Lord Mayor of Liverpool, Councillor Richard Kemp, of the Command of the British Empire, who is being honoured now by advocate Uno Simbintra, our founder and director. A national round of applause, please. So ladies and gentlemen, your continued attention please. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm now allowed to call upon our convener and president of the World Leaders Summit UK chapter, founder and director, Global Empire Events Limited. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Advocate Udomir Singh Bindra.
Good afternoon, distinguished guests, respected dignitaries, honored keynote speakers, awardees, delegates, ladies and gentlemen. The world's greatest challenges will never be solved by one nation, one government, or one organization. They'll be solved when leaders choose collaboration over competition. And that's exactly why we're here today in Oxford. It is my great honor and privilege to welcome you all to the 17th World Leaders Summit and the Women Leaders Forum at the historic Examination Schools in the University of Oxford. Today, we are privileged to be joined by an exceptional gathering of leaders, innovators, educators, entrepreneurs, policymakers, and change makers from over 30 countries, both physically and virtually. Your presence demonstrates a shared commitment to creating meaningful impact that extends beyond borders. I'd like to extend my heartfelt gratitude to all our distinguished chief guests and special dignitaries, the Lord Brennan Casey, Member of the House of Lords, Councillor Chuy Mukongo, the Lord Mayor of Oxford, Councillor Lubna Ashar, and Mr. Vrinder Sharma, former British MP of House of Commons, Councillor Parveen Gandhi, Mayor of Borough of Portsmouth, and Councillor Richard Kent. Thank you for honouring us with your continued dedication to public service and global leadership. I also extend my sincere appreciation to every keynote speaker, distinguished delegate, partner, supporter, and esteemed awardee and recipient of the awards today. Your achievements and contributions are the true inspiration beyond today's gathering. At Global Empire events, we believe that leadership is measured not only by success, but by the positive impact we create for society. That is why our initiatives are aligned with the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals, serving as a platform where ideas become partnerships and partnerships become action. Our work particularly supports SDG 4, gender equality, SDG 8, decent work and economic growth, SDG 9, industry, innovation and infrastructure, SDG 16, peace, justice and strong institutions, and finally SDG 17, which is partnership for the goals. Today's summit is more than a conference, it is a global platform where knowledge is exchanged, partnerships are formed, business connect, and leaders inspire one another to create real impact. Let us leave Oxford not only with memories and recognition, but with a renewed purpose, strength, and a shared commitment to building a more inclusive, innovative, peaceful, and a sustainable world. Today, let us champion collaboration over competition, innovation over limitation, education over ignorance, and entrepreneurship that creates opportunities for generations to come. Thank you for joining us at the 17th World Leaders Summit and the Women Leaders Forum. I wish you all an inspiring, productive, and memorable summit. Thank you and enjoy the conference, and hereby we commence the award ceremony.
Once again, ladies and gentlemen, a very big thank you to our founder, Advocate Udomir Singh Bindra. Now, ladies and gentlemen, before we commence with our award ceremony, can I ask the following people Ladies and gentlemen, if we can have everyone's kind attention, please. Our award ceremony is now about to commence, honouring some very special and honoured individuals in our society. Ladies and gentlemen, our first category is for the Visionary Business Innovation Award. And this award goes to Dr. Hassan Farasi. Ladies and gentlemen, our next award is for Transformational Leadership and Humanitarian Impact Award. And this award is being presented to Miss Anna Lau. Ladies and gentlemen, our next award is for Excellence in Financial Leadership Award. And this prestigious award is being presented to Mr. Omkar Joshi. Can I finally call Mr. Priya Shukumar to come to the stage, please? To present the awards also. Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, our next award is for Healthcare Operations Leader of the Year. And this prestigious award is being awarded to Mr. Shahid Sheikh.
Okay, guys, just
नवीन हेडलाइंस ब्रांड स्पैकिंग पता नहीं सुत्ते और पुरानी ब्रांड उन्हें सारे ब्रांड ये सी हो बैग दे
Transformational Leadership Award in Mental Health Accuracy and Empowerment. And the winner of this prestigious award is Ms. Felicitas Bunda.
गाने खड़े कांपते ना नाले करना बैक साउंड पे थोड़ा थोड़ा ओके come together thank you backdrop पे बीच बीच हो
उन्हें बहुत ज़्यादा पुरानी कौन है सब क्लास
थोड़ी कोई मेयर बने हैं ते मेयर बनी जाते हैं
Mr. Andreas Schwab. Events, Empire Events Limited. So can we give Natasha a massive round of applause, please? So ladies and gentlemen, our next award is for International Justice and Public Safety Leadership Award. And this prestigious award will be presented to Mr. Gilda Mascara. Our next award is for the Architect of Human Dignity Award 2026. And this award is being presented to Ms. Rajni Kanubai Kutaria. Leadership Excellence Award. And this award will be going to Dr. Isiru Ekinson. Leadership Award. And this prestigious award being presented to Ms. Sidra Amar. And this prestigious award is being presented to Dr. Irish Wright. The ladies and gentlemen just honouring Dr. Irish Wright as she is just attending on a virtual basis. Thank you very much indeed. And for our next winner, who is also attending virtually, is the Global Classrooms Women Health and Empowerment Leadership Award. And this award will be presented to Dr. Yamini Singh, virtually. Now, ladies and gentlemen, we move on to a very prestigious award yet again. The Outstanding Woman Leader in Healthcare and Community Impact. And this prestigious award will be presented to Dr. Rajina Bassi. Ladies and gentlemen, our next award is for Women in Research, Innovation and Entrepreneurship. And this very prestigious award will be presented to Abidani Hannah Aldon Oliver.
एक में उठा के दूसरे में टू मच है Is the Oxford Laureate Award for Strategic Award. And this prestigious award is being presented to Shockers who say RPA, APA, CMA, and India, FCPA, USA. So go a round of applause, please. Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, our next award is for the Visionary Leader in Psychotherapy and Anxiety Transformation. And this prestigious award is being presented to Mr. Atul Mehra. Ladies and gentlemen, our next award is for Women Excellence in Conscious Leadership and Community Impact Award 2026. And this particular award is being presented to Ms. Shweta Mantri.
being presented to Dr. Irawan Fabianto, PhD. So, ladies and gentlemen, our next very prestigious award is for the Visionary Entrepreneur Award. And this prestigious award will be presented to Tanzan Abbasan. Again, very prestigious, very honoured, the Dynamic Woman Entrepreneur of the Year. And this award will be presented to Dr. Christine. Ladies and gentlemen, our next award is for the Heritage, Education, Community Empowerment Leader Award. And this prestigious award will be awarded to Indu Bano. So transforming education through memory science, mindfulness, and cognitive empowerment. And this prestigious award will be awarded to Ms. Smriti Kuchar.
Sorry, boss.
Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, our next award is for the global leadership edge, presence, judgment, and influence will be presented to Dr. Mujib Saxena. Let's have a round of applause for our winners so far. There's a few more winners left. Thank you. And our next award, ladies and gentlemen, is the Woman Empowerment Excellence Award. And this outstanding award will be presented to Ms. Hawaida Abdullah. Ladies and gentlemen, our next very prestigious award is for the woman leader in community leadership and economic empowerment. And this particular award is being presented to Ms. Mauricia Jeffers. Ladies and gentlemen, our next prestigious award will be for transforming nations from economic self-resilience, reliance, the global power of social entrepreneurship, worker ownership, and humanitarian innovation. And prestigious awards will be awarded to Dr. Marla Woodworth. Ladies and gentlemen, we have a very prestigious award to give next. Now, particularly Dr. Nina Krudnikova, DPhil, Oxford, Wolfson College, University of Oxford, Oxford OX2, 6UD, will be presented to the award. And this particular winner is an Oxford University researcher and tour guide and educational consultant. So anybody who would like to talk throughout Oxford, please come and see at your leisure Dr. Nina Krudnikova, Dr. Phil Oxford. Thank you. Now, back to the ladies and gentlemen, our next award is for the pioneer Musa Mepe. Ladies and gentlemen, our next award is the Peace Advocacy Excellence Award. And this particular award will be presented to Dr. David Nycroft Matsuka. Let's have some applause for him. Ladies and gentlemen, our next position award is for Trust Coach Cultural Leadership and Peace Building Award. And this position award goes to Miss Marie Mellon. Ladies and gentlemen,
ऑरेंज कलर से
it's for excellence
हाँ
in
फोटो
strategic
हाँ मैं ले
finance and World Solutions Award. And this position award will be presented to Mr. Kuram Asif. Last game we have Mr. Kuram Asif. That's fine, I think that'll be a virtual award, so we give him a round of applause in his absence anyway. Ladies and gentlemen, our next award is for the Women Excellence in Legal Leadership and Access to Justice Award 2026. And this very prestigious award is awarded to Miss Juliet Benson. Ladies and gentlemen, we come to our final awards now, for our award ceremony. Our next award is the International Excellence Award in Medical Records and Healthcare Education. And this prestigious award has been awarded to Dr. Yaman Roy. Charlie might be a virtual. Okay? And our final virtual award is for the Lifetime Achievement Award in Education. And this position attention, and a big thank you to our presenters who've been involved in our water service today. Thank you. Please come take your seats as we will be continuing with some keynote speakers. Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, your very kind attention, please. Thank you. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to call to the stage Dr. Warner Woodworth. His speaking topic will be transforming nations through economic, self-reliance, the global power of social entrepreneurship, worker ownership, and humanitarian innovation. This will be 7 minutes of keynote speaking session. Thank you.
Honored guests, I'm pleased to meet with you. I think I've come the farthest distance. I'm a cowboy in Utah, in the U.S., in the Rocky Mountains. Left my horses and my wife to join this unit today, and I appreciate the invitation. I've been interested in how we, as human beings, change the world and reduce human suffering. And so I wanted to share in a few moments on a lot here some insights for building a more sustainable economy, practicing social entrepreneurship, which is a relatively new strategy for empowering people, rolling out programs of microcredit in 82 countries where I work, and developing worker ownership in the U.S. with unions where companies are shutting down, as well as with my friends in other parts of the globe, including Russia, etc. I started with the questions. I got my PhD in Ann Arbor, Michigan, the University of Michigan. Began to see in the States in the 1970s. I realized none of you were alive in the 1970s. I'm the oldest person here, older than all of you together. Getting my PhD and plants and factories were closing. And a couple of colleagues and I said, what if we could help workers buy these companies and run them as worker-owned firms? And when we talked to our professors, they said that wasn't possible. But we began to work on it, and I went eventually to testify in Congress, and people like Ronald Reagan on the right and Ted Kennedy on the left came to support new legislation that would give financial liability to worker-owned firms, save jobs, retain the tax base, keep the communities functioning, which is something towns shut down. So I began to work on that project, and then started doing it in Russia, because Gorbachev was taking over there. That country was opening up as well as many others. We created what are called ESOPs, ESOPs. Today, 15 million They work as a group in 7,000 firms, and we've generated some $2 trillion of assets and worker on firms. At the same time, I began to say, besides these big companies, we were buying with 1,000 or 5,000 employees. I saw there was need in smaller communities, and so we began to foster legislation to enhance worker cooperatives. We started with government putting $40 million into a co-op bank in Washington, D.C. in the 1970s, late 70s. It's now given out loans to 8 billion small worker-owned firms. Those are ideas my friends, my colleagues, my professors said were not possible, but we've been able to save millions of jobs and generate billions of dollars. So I want us to just reflect on one of my heroes, Muhammad Gandhi. He said the words, we must lead the change we wish to see. I want to see change. I want to see workers have the power. And out of that, these workers humble, ESOPs that grow. Some of them are $500 million, $1 billion companies. Secondly, pro-corporate management, empowerment with social entrepreneurship. After I got the ESOP movement growing, and there's now hundreds of such firms, and worker ownership was taught at our school. It's taught in most universities, in labor courses, econ courses, economics courses. So I began to say, what can we do to help towards people on the planet, not lay off workers in the U.S.? So out of that, we began this movement called social entrepreneurship that fosters ways to create innovation among the poor. I started working with my partner, Mohammed Yunus, from Green Bank, just quit his job as Prime Minister of Bangladesh. With my and my humble students and a few wealthy friends, I've been able to raise $2 million and give loans to 28 million struggling mothers. And finally, I just want to mention humanitarianism. Microfinance, ESOPs, co-ops, they're economic engines. We can all do, if nothing else, we can do humanitarian work. So we've been working to our global community in this crisis and provide people with innovative ways of forced employment and gain their future, making it a place in life to fulfill the great formal and blessed. Thank you for being on my
So, ladies and gentlemen, very brief thank you for the wonderful keynote addressed by Dr. Paula Woodworth and Bill Young as the mentor. I believe by one of our team, so we'd like to give a round of applause. Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, for our next keynote ceremony session, when we talk about transforming education through memory, science, mindfulness, and cognitive empowerment. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Ms. Smriti Krishna.
Even the strongest memory cannot perform in a distracted mind. This brings me to the second pillar, that is mindfulness, that is Dhyan. Mindfulness is not about escaping from the world, it is being fully present in it. It teaches us to pause before acting, to observe before judging, and focus before performing. Imagine classrooms where success is measured not by grades, but also by kindness, by confidence, by curiosity, and character. Wouldn't be a more complete education? The third pillar is cognitive empowerment. The future does not belong to those who memorize the most. It belongs to those who think critically, learn continuously, adapt confidently, and solve problems creatively. Our responsibility as an educator is not simply to fill young minds with information. It is to unlock the extraordinary potential that already exists within every child. That is the vision behind Smriti Gurukul for memory and mindfulness, founded by me. Our mission has already touched the lives of more than 1 lakh learners across the globe through memory science, mindfulness, and cognitive empowerment. Our purpose is to integrate evidence-informed memory techniques, mindfulness practices, and cognitive development into mainstream education. Not to replace existing education, but to strengthen it. Not to create more pressure, but to create more capable, conscious, and compassionate learners. Because every child deserves more than academic success. Every child deserves confidence, clarity, and calmness, and the ability to flourish in an ever-changing world. As a starter today, representing India, I do not believe the future of education lies in choosing between ancient wisdom or modern science. I believe the future lies in bringing them together. Where neuroscience meets mindfulness, where innovation meets compassion, where knowledge becomes wisdom, and where education becomes a force not for economic growth but for human flourishing. Before I conclude, as someone from Surat, Haryana, it fills my heart with pride to see fellow sons and daughters of my homeland serving completely here in like Mayor Praveen and Mayor Tushar Kumar. And it's a beautiful reminder that while our journeys make us continents, our values stand with us. I'm so proud of both of you. Thank you so much. Jai Hind, Jai Bharat, Bharat Mata Ki Jai.
Wow, ladies and gentlemen, that was very, very powerful. Keynote speaker session by Miss Smriti Gurukul. We'd like so Smriti Gurukul to be honoured, please. On about 10 minutes.
This is my first name. I don't have billions of
Thank you so much, of course. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I've been honoured to present and to honour the next, I shall say, winner. It's a very nice momentum. come here to listen to the esteemed speakers at this session here today. So if we can kindly ask for silence within the room, that would be much appreciated. Thank you very much indeed. So ladies and gentlemen, for our next 7 minutes keynote session, we're going to be talking about restorative justice and human rehabilitation, rethinking the future of modern legal systems. Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to introduce Dr. Somnath Sarkar, please. Okay, so ladies and gentlemen, I've been informed that Dr. Somnath Sarkar is absent, so we can move on to our next keynote speaker. Our next keynote speaker is all about mastering the art of quiet power. Again, it's a 7-minute keynote speaker session. I would like to kindly call to the stage Ms. Anna Love.
Did you ask for this or somebody else? From that. Is that what you did? Or you together? Huh? So you're together. Okay. Congrats. I hope he's a good man. Huh? Photo. Retarded people. Third world.
Even when the world is full together, these are all examples of quiet power. Good afternoon, global leaders, change makers. My name is Anna, and I'm honored to be here today to share with you something that I learned in my own journey that became a journey from my life. I want to take this opportunity to thank the World Leaders Summit and to thank God for His blessings for all of us to share space together today to learn
presence. Judgment and influence in an age of AI and uncertainty. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the stage Mr. Rudy Saxon, please. Brilliant.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. We're living in extremely exciting times. We've all experiencing the age of AI. We're experiencing the age of technology, where the pace of change is amazing and life seems great. But despite all the technology and all the AI, we have a lot of data, but people still struggle to make decisions. The technology connects us all via social media, but there's still so much of loneliness in this world. Technology is enabling a number of things, but at the same time, we seem to be losing out on some key metrics which might decide the future of the world and the future of leadership. It's unfortunate that we're living in times where there is war, there's people dying, and at the same time, we talk about there are people losing jobs, and a lot of unemployment. So what makes the question is, what is the real role of AI technology and keep human beings in perfect shape, so that there is longevity for work as well as employment for everybody. Otherwise, there might just be a lot of social startups in the coming years. And at this point in time, I'd like to share a little bit about what I've seen. It's a privilege to be here at the World Leadership Summit at Oxford in the UK. But as a former global state for myself, and currently as a global state leadership coach, I've had the privilege of coaching leaders across the world, from the US to Europe, from the Middle East to Asia. And one thing that I see time and day, it's not necessarily the leaders who are most knowledgeable. It's not necessarily that the leaders who know the most, who have authority, are the ones who are making global impact. If you go back in history and you look at all major movements, whether it was Mahatma Gandhi or Nelson Mandela, you will see that leadership that has actually shaped the world has always had a human component. And that is what makes leadership different. That is what makes us human beings different from just beyond machines. And that's what I'm going to allude to. Because we have a lot of technology, and that's great because it will help civilization progress. AI is going to change our lives dramatically, and that's great because it's able to do things which we couldn't do before. It will impact health, education, etc. But the more important thing is, should we be forgetting the human edge in leadership? And I think that is what is going to become increasingly important in the years to come. And there are three things that I'd like to point to. It is presence, judgment, and influence. When I speak about presence, it's not about being the loudest in the room. It's not about somebody who knows the most. It's not about the chair. It's not about personality either. But presence is that ability where you can actually help create, build an environment of trust where people are uncertain. The second pillar I'd like to talk about is judgment. You can have all the data, you can have all the statistics, and you can have every us work together. Presence builds trust. Judgment gives us direction. But its influence is actually going to create mood because you're able to influence a large part of the audience to go ahead. And that's what true leadership is, when you have a mixture of all these three. But the essence is that all these three pillars fundamentally lie on something called inner mastery. And without making it too difficult, just ask yourself, every time there is a review or there is something that you don't agree with, do you tend to react or do you tend to respond? Are you able to pause and decide what is truly right in the future? Because if you're able to do that, then you have a certain amount of inner mastery. Before you take decisions in the world, you need to be able to take a few decisions for yourself, control your emotions, and actually take decisions that's in the interest of all. So to summarize, in the global age, in the area of technology, while technology and AI will help us move ahead in a number of ways and journey here much faster, it's imperative that the human age is not forgotten of the three pillars of presence, judgment, and influence. And all of it reside on inner mastery. So while AI will take us and shape the future of work, I think the global age of leadership is about improving and taking decisions that maximize use of technology and human beings as a race. That's what we're going to decide out. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, very big thank you to Mr. Woody Saxon, who spoke about global leadership age presence, judgment and influence of the age of AI and uncertainty, and has been on, so can we run an applause for Ladies and gentlemen, we kindly have attention within the room, can we have silence, and for everybody to come and sit down, can we ask everyone to come and be seated? Please. We silence in the room, please, for our next speakers. Thank you very much. Ladies and gentlemen, your continued attention, please. For our next speaker, which is about building a legacy of leadership. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the stage Ms. Mauricia Jeffers.
What is your legacy? Lords, mayors, esteemed guests, fellow leaders, ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. Standing before you here today, Oxford, is a great milestone. Not because of the prestige of this institution, not because of the recognition we are getting today, but because of the opportunity to serve that was given. I'm a reflection of the persons who invested in me, from my parents, my husband, my family, all who sacrificed. When I look at this journey, I realize that I was shaped or being shaped by three communities. The Caribbean gave me my roots. The United Kingdom broadened my perspective. entrepreneurship, real estate, non-profit leadership, and international cooperation. When asked which of these roles are the most important, I simply say none. Our titles may describe what we do, but they do not define who we are. Character does, service does, purpose does. And perhaps that is why I have come to believe that helping others discover who they really are is the greatest testament of great leadership. Our world celebrates achievement. We celebrate promotions, recognition, influence, success. There is nothing wrong with success, but success alone has never changed history. Legacy has. When we plant seeds for harvest, we know we'll never see. Around the world, women continue to overcome barriers that have nothing to do with talent and everything to do with opportunity. When women advance, families become stronger, communities become healthier, businesses become more innovative, and economies become more resilient. Investing in women is not charity. It is one of the greatest investments any society can make. Because when women are empowered, we simply change all lives around us. Generations change. Through my work with the United Nations Associations of the Americas, I have witnessed this growth in communities across cultures. The Sustainable Development Goals are often described as an international framework, but I've come to see it differently. They are a call to leadership, a call to educate instead of exclude, to empower instead of limit, to collaborate, and not to compete, to create opportunity instead of dependency, and to leave no man behind. Most importantly, to remember that our shared humanity will always be greater than our differences. The Sustainable Development Goals are not simply a roadmap for governments. They are an initiative or invitations for every one of us to become better ancestors. People always say, when you learn serving your communities across the world, what is different for you? I simply say, my communities are not built by buildings. They're built by trust. They're built with neighbors, becoming partners. When differences become conversations, when service becomes more important than recognition. When people decide that someone's future matters just as much as their own, technology has connected our devices, leadership connects our hearts. Economic growth is often measured by numbers, markets, GDPs, employment, investments. Those numbers matter, but sustainable economic growth brings much deeper. It begins with a young person believing in education as a purpose. When an entrepreneur receives their first business opportunity, when a family receives their first home, when community gains Ladies and gentlemen, it's a privilege to be here today among so many fine women that inspire and lead change in their communities, workplace, and beyond. When we think about leadership, we often think about influence, vision, and success. But I believe leadership begins much earlier than that. It begins the moment
people still want to listen to the keynote speaker sessions. So can I ask you to take a seat if you're still in the room and please keep the noise down to a minimum so everyone can hear what's going on. That would be much appreciated. Thank you very much. Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, your continued attention, please. Our next speaking topic in another 7-minute session, we talk about visionary leadership in business, driving innovation, growth, and lasting impact. Please welcome to the stage Dr. Hassan Barasi.
Thank you very much. And it's an amazing day to see you here today. I will try to give you my time frame, as I promised. Honorable politicians, esteemed colleagues, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, it is a true privilege to stand before you today at this prestigious Oxford University. This is more than just an event. It's an opportunity for us to ignite the flame of visionary leadership in our dynamic business landscape. Today I want to explore the transformative power of visionary leadership, a force which can lead to innovation, growth, and lasting impact. Esteemed colleagues, as we know, leadership transcends authority. It embodies foresight and courage, requiring an unshakable resolve to inspire others toward a shared vision. Let's begin with the innovation. In our rapidly changing world, businesses must not be only adapted to change, but also anticipate future trends. Ladies and gentlemen, visionary leaders recognize that innovation is the lifeblood of any organization, whether it's a social organization, whether it's a business, or it's whether it's a government organization. They cultivate environments where creativity thrives and every voice is heard, where team members feel empowered to challenge the status quo. As business leaders, we must ask ourselves, are we truly nurturing a culture of innovation? Are we listening to our teams and valuing their insights? Now let's shift our focus to growth. Growth is not a solitary endeavor. It flourishes through empowered teams, united by a common vision. Distinguished guests, a visionary leader understands that true growth extends beyond profits. It encompasses cultivating integrity, resilience, and talents to shape future leaders. As you all know, talent cannot be the only ingredients for a good leader. A good leader must have integrity, resilience, and talents to become effective. When we invest in our people and grant them autonomy to make informed decisions, we foster accountability that drives exceptional results. Business leaders, as you know, our team members are unique, like a family. Some people believe that we have to chop and change. You cannot chop and change the family. You must embrace mentorship, collaboration, and inclusivity. When every member sees a clear growth path for themselves and organization, this way we magnify our potential for greater impact. Finally, let us reflect on the lasting impact of our action. In today's interconnected world, business are not levels of profit. They are expected to be agents of positive change in our society. Esteemed delegates, I challenge you with this question: how can we integrate essential social and environmental values into our strategies today to build a sustainable world for our future generation? As I conclude, we must remember that visionary leadership is a continuous journey. It is an ability to dream, inspiring others, making choices that lead to innovation, growth, and transformative impact. This is how we can facilitate profound change in our society. Thank you very much.
Ladies and gentlemen, a very, very big thank you for again very nice and insightful keynote speaker session. Speaking about visionary leadership in business, driving innovation, growth, and lasting impact by Dr. Hassan Barasa. Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, your kind attention, please. Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, our next keynote speaker session. We have 3 left. It's another 7-minute session. This session is about entrepreneurship, investment, and financial excellence, building sustainable global opportunities.
important to wake up. Many people think financial success means having the biggest bank account. I believe the financial success means something much greater. It means managing your resources wisely. It means creating the value before expecting the others. It means building your trust before building the wealth. Around the world, we are facing lots of challenges right now, like the environmental challenge, the rapid technology challenge, artificial intelligence challenge. These challenges cannot be solved only by the government. It's our responsibility. All the entrepreneurs should come together, all the investors should come together, all the leaders should come together with the integrity and solve these problems. The best time to plant tree has been 20 years ago, and I would say the best time to plant tree is today. Because the same is entrepreneurship, the same is true for investment, the same is true for the leadership. Imagine the world, as I am talking about global investment. So imagine the world, a boy from the India will get investment from the USA. Let's see the impact, how the cross-border investment will work. So education is the most powerful weapon which you can change the world. Ladies and gentlemen, leadership is not measured by the number of people who follow us. Leadership is measured by the number of leaders we inspire. Success is not measured by the amount of money we earn. Success is measured by the number of lives we improve. So I would leave it with the thought: one entrepreneur can start a business, one investor can transform a company, and one leader can inspire the nation. But when entrepreneurs, investors, and leaders work together with the integrity, they can change the world. And thank you so much.
Ladies and gentlemen, very, very nice again and keynote speaker session there. Talking about entrepreneurship, investments and financial excellence, building sustainable global opportunities. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Omkar Joshi will now be honoured. Ladies and gentlemen, our next keynote speaker session will be 7 minutes. And it will be concentrating on the doctrine of non-violence and issues in management. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the stage Mr. Navi Gallo. Once again, do we still have Mr. Navi Gallo with us this afternoon? Okay. Thank you, no problem at all. So, ladies and gentlemen, we move on to our final keynote speaker session. And this speaker topic is talking about transforming healthcare operations, leadership, innovation, and sustainable excellence. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the stage Mr. Shahid Sheikh.
Good afternoon, everyone. Honored delegates, global leaders, and esteemed colleagues. My name is Shahid Sheikh, and I have been working with healthcare ecosystem in the past 2 decades. From primary care to acute hospitals, private healthcare, and national programs, leading operational leadership, needs of innovation, and workforce well-being. It is profound honor to stand here for Oxford University and an institution that has shaped global leaders for centuries. My journey in healthcare has taught me one common truth. transformation is not about changing systems, it's about changing lives. Today, I want to share with you how operational leadership leads to innovation and workforce well-being can accelerate access to growth towards United Nations Sustainable Development Goals. When I began my journey into healthcare sector, I asked one question to myself: how do we build a healthcare institution that never fails the people it serves? Digital transformation is not about operational excellence, it's about trust, safety, and clinical governance. We strengthen our safety compliance, redefine workflows, improve financial governance, and enhance patient access. We reduce bottlenecks and create a system that every operational decision has anchored information experience. Digital innovation is no more optional, it's fundamental. We implemented QR-based governance system, enabling real-time monitoring of safety, compliance, and workforce attendance. We created a digital platform for patients for online registration that reduced the workload of admin and reduce errors, and also helps the patient's onboarding. We optimize clinical and admin workflows that enable our operations to spend more time with patients and less time navigating systems. This innovation is more than modern process, they reshape culture. Staff that empower, patients that inform, leaders gain vision, and organizations become more resilient. Digital innovation is not about transformation or technology, it's about creating a system that thinks, adopt, and innovate. Lastly, workforce. No transformation succeeds without leaders. Throughout the NHS, I witnessed extraordinary dedication, but also burnout, fatigue, and emotional strain. Workforce well-being is not just it's a responsibility of the leadership. We introduce workforce well-being initiatives, create open channel for communication, create a psychological environment that helps our staff to open up, grow, and innovate. For me, leadership today needs more than operational excellence. It needs trust, vision, and humanity. My educational background in business management, entrepreneurship, and leadership certification in CELA, BMT, CELA, Bachelor, ISC, and EG scholarship has made me learn leadership is not about being in the front, but creating a moment and creating a learning moment for everyone. And we all gather here together in Oxford, a symbol of knowledge, a symbol of leadership, a symbol of innovation. I invite you all to reflect on the future we are living in. The future where operational leadership strengthens human compassion. A future where these innovations ensure safety and trust. A future where partnership transcends beyond and creates global impact. Our United Nations Sustainable will keep a blueprint, our leadership team is about to act, and our cohesion of coming together is about transformation. Ladies and gentlemen, for me, I believe healthcare is a sector. It's a promise that we make to society, a promise to protect, a promise to innovate, a promise that push generations will be transformed. Thank you all for the honor. Thank you.
future, but not need reality. We should think about the future. Thank you.
Okay, so ladies and gentlemen, we have a very nice speaking topic. I'm Mr. Charlie Shea, the Transfer of Healthcare Operations, Leadership Innovations and Sustainable Executive in Albion. And ladies and gentlemen, we have our very final keynote speaker now. So this speaker will be speaking about knowledge to impact, advancing innovation, mentorship and inclusive economic growth. Please welcome me. Academic House for a 7-minute keynote speech. Thank you.
From knowledge to impact, advancing innovation, mentorship, and inclusive transformation. Before I proceed, I would like to say good afternoon to everyone and to observe all existing protocols. I want to say good afternoon to the government, distinguished members of the parliament, the government of your support, fellow legislators, distinguished guests, good afternoon. It is a profound honor and privilege to stand before you and to join evaluation speech of the University of Oxford. I sincerely thank the organizers of the 17th Global Summit and the Women Research for the international opportunity and for the confidence they have placed in me. Before I begin, I want to ask the guidance. In case everyone saw me when I was coming instead of my former shoes. But there is a reason for that. If it was to be in the individual circle, I would have said a miracle was happened. Because all was just me as I was living. Why? Because when I joined from the beginning myself everyone about this career, I felt I shot more than not without emotions and responsibility where I was teaching on language. For the moment, I wondered whether I would be able to stand there today. But life has taught me something very important, something very important. Sometimes our greatest tests come just before our greatest opportunities. So, standing before you today is a reminder that resilience is not the absence of challenges. It is the determination to keep moving forward in spite of all odds. Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Abidin Anna President of I am the founder and chief executive officer of the institution research in the United Kingdom, and I'm also the founder of the Institution a striving food service research agency in Nigeria. I have the privilege of talking from knowledge and advancing innovation, mentorship, and inclusive economic growth. Not every phrase knowledge is power. I respectfully believe that knowledge alone is not enough. Knowledge system who can go transform lives. Knowledge of how to classrooms and not equality. Better decision begins, for me, I think better decision begins
On stage.
To come to the stage, please, after this one.
Are you going to give some interviews here? They are just how you make this thing.
Yeah, go on.
Huh?
Yes. So the organizer, Uwe, he'll send out the media to all the delegates. So you see, he has your details.
Yes.
But you can also request individual pictures if you wish. Yeah, he'll have all the pictures. So if you wish, what they're going to do, they're going to make together the sort of feature for today, a newsletter. All the images will be in there. But if you wish to have specific individual ones, please just ask for them. Yeah.
I'll come in a minute. Yeah.
Perfect. Okay, guys, make sure you can see the camera. Okay, guys, this is the main camera. If you want your picture to be in the publication, this is the main camera. Make sure you can see this camera. Don't block anyone else, please. Come in a bit more, guys. Okay. Keep it there, guys. And one more. Thank you.
Andreas.
I will send everything. No, no, no.
Still going.
1 hour 30 minutes. It's far. send me a CV.
How about you? Marathi? Hindi? I was in Pune for a while. I worked in, that's in front of Phoenix Mall. That's Trio Night Park nowadays. That's in Padgaon Ship. I worked there for almost 5 years. I worked in the...
Hi. So much. Of course. It's an honor to meet someone without privilege. What did you get the award for, by the way? Wonderful job. I love your card, by the way. I love the design. So what is it that you do exactly? Could I see some of your products? Could I see some of the products that you've done? Alright, any photos or whatever you have. And what would you say your ICPs are? Ideal customer profile. Who do you cater to the most? Because you said it's a luxury, right? So I'm sure you must have a niche. Yeah, let me see some of the products. I'm very based in. I live in a Hearts, man. You have your own business, right? And you guys have like a, when you say wellness, because what I've seen is popping off right now, it's going fantastic. It's like machines, and then there's like Tibetan ones as well, Ayurvedic, and then there's like oxygen chambers. There's so much to think. So what exactly do you do? Yeah. Healings and stuff. Yeah, of course you got people. Yeah. You believe in crystals and everything. Yeah, you believe in energy. From where are you from? Yeah. You need to be a very spiritual person for that. Because I know, especially healing, it takes a lot of toll on the person that's performing it as well. So, is that why you stopped? Hence, because when you say healing, there's like Ayurveda, when you transfer your energy as well, in case if there's any blockages or anything like that. So, yeah.
Very much you. Okay.
Oh, God.
I've been checking out.
Look as yeah. Like from a third view, people viewed.
Sent this. I'm not owing anyone the photos. I
You're owing the last one. You're owing plenty. And the
I've
videos,
just
and the
sent you
videos.
this. And these are the last
You want
ones.
to do videos. Let him send you all the videos.
So I don't have any. I've sent you this. Then I've sent this. Who else do I owe? I think me, I've sent everything.
The one I just took,
No,
use your
well,
phone.
oh, yeah.
Okay, let him send
He's suffering from much more. Just do one thing. Videos too far. I'll take my videos, drop what you do, and I'll definitely come with it.
Yeah, me,
Because I
I'll
genuinely enjoy what you're doing. And I think the world needs this right now, especially with so many mental health issues. People are feeling lonely as well. They don't have
one of doing videos. I think you have it.
And I use your phone.
This is where you come in.
Check.
Yeah, no worries. I think that's where me and the ingredients help with the social media part.
Can you see a video?
I know one.
Because your phone, I think. But the photos.
That's why your phone that was No,
Yeah, my phone I use both of you.
I didn't use my
SH.
I was using one of you.
Then it was his. So now what is photos?
Both people.
So who did video?
I think video should be on your phone.
I did photos for you.
So we both did photos.
Yeah, do one thing. Let's click a selfie.
Let's
Send
do
me
the
that
video
photo as
again.
well. I know who I'm talking
Did
to.
you do video for me?
Yeah.
Okay, so it's your video.
Yeah.
I did. Okay, let me
Yeah,
see.
because sometimes it goes. You know what? I have the same habit.
So that at least we realize.
Yeah, much better. Honestly, because I think I've just got around and it's so much easier to know who I'm talking to.
Yeah, I did photos for you.
Oh, look at my picture. I laughed. Why did you tell me to
You
be
sent me a bit of
serious?
details about your company as well and what you do. Knowledge.
Me, I need a repeat of a video. I laughed. I was like, I'm laughing.
You don't laugh.
Like how I was like, I don't know. Let's go. We repeat this.
Let's see. You want pictures?
Yeah. Get a photo together.
Oh, okay.
And then after that, can we take my picture? I'll send you everything.
Yeah. So we have that. Are you going to take two?
I've sent you all the photos. Did you do my
You don't owe us anything. Let me check.
And I've done what I did photos. So who did my video?
There's no photo here. Which one? Only for red carpet.
No, everything here I've sent you.
Just now.
I think it's the internet too.
Or maybe.
Where's the video? You did the video. My video.
We have not received anything.
Check your phone, but I used to. Is it not 2 full times?
Eh?
Check your phone. Did you see anything?
Oh, it's still going.
Oh, okay.
And I sent you that lady's one. I sent you all these ones.
Okay. I don't have any.
What about video?
I sent to you. For when you're speaking there, we use your phone.
No.
Because your phone, yeah.
For video?
Yeah. Because your phone, the other phone I was with the photos. Video, baby.
You didn't use my phone.
Sure. Oh, I love this one.
Because it wasn't until check that video. Maybe you didn't.
I sent out the photos, meaning I was doing photos, not videos. So let me check again. But we were also doing a video. I think it was your
No, my phone.
They
You
didn't
didn't have
have
my phone. You didn't have my phone. It wasn't until we got there.
phone.
Yeah, there's no video.
Let me get you don't have. You don't have a video.